We can start.
Yeah. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Marko. So now, I'm so happy to be with you today. And first, let me give the small introduction about this series of interviews. This is called Consciousness Shift, and and it will be a series of interviews between me and Marko. Well, my name is Hock. I'm also known as Dean Yang. Some people call me Dean Yang. And I manage a Facebook page called Esoteric Fifth Dimension. So I'm so glad to know Marko, and he's an amazing person. And I learned so much from him that I feel it's about time to share Marco's knowledge and experience and in-depth views on many things important and esoteric. So, with that, and I've just managed to finish my Zen Buddhist meditation just in time to conduct this interview. So, Marko, let us start with you telling us about yourself, please. Carry on.
Okay. Okay, so basically I'm very old soul. I came directly from the source, first incarnated as a first patriarch of Andromeda. And I had there 2 lifetimes as a first patriarch. Then I've been incarnated on Orion. And currently I'm incarnated in my second lifetime on this earth plane. And now I'm sent here to basically change and shift consciousness and help Mother Earth to uh, uh, elevate consciousness level and help humanity as a species. I also have a website, andromedianalchemy.cm, and I have my YouTube channel called Help Consciousness Rise. So for more information, you can definitely go there and see what I'm doing in details.
Oh, that's lovely. And so, how's life on planet Earth now?
Okay, so we are talking about these ages. You mentioned before this one age is 26,578 years or so, and that is basically one age or one period of time. However, during the Pisces era, Dracos came like 12,500 years ago and took all control on the earth. And before them, there were Atlantis and Lemurian civilizations. And now the Draco's strength and control is very weakened. And basically, yeah, now we are on the right path to become really advanced civilization.
So, Marko, when you mention Draco, do you mean the reptilians?
Yes, exactly. So their origin is so-called Draco Belt. 13,000 years ago, they didn't had much control of the universe, but something happened because in universe there basically the waves or climate for some vibrations to grow and develop. So universe also has their own phases. When these phases come into alignment, some forces are able to use that for their purposes. In this concrete example, we saw Dracos how they are taking control over the 90% of universe just by aligning and knowing about these processes, uh, and they just use the momentum, you know, to take control. Uh, in that moment on the earth started these sacrifices, rituals, and the demonic forces to control over the earth. Now, especially after period of 2012, there are many light workers and star seeds incarnated here in specific reason to elaborate this planet for this from these forces and to establish new era. Okay.
Wow. So this new era where the light versus the dark will be coming to an end with the light gaining the upper hand.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. That's what's happening.
So there is a lot of hope for our Mother Earth, Gaia.
Exactly. Uh, you know why? Because no matter what force, in what moment, has the upper hand, it is all the laws of universe are always in favor of those who serve to God, which means creation, which means love, which means something that creates, which means something that advances and it is life, it is spreading.
So creation is good and destruction is, of course, bad.
Well, yeah, these are we can say that by using the like human language. Um, yeah, in our inner psychology of a human as a species, as I understand it, it is these are attachments and aversions. So we are tend to attach to things that we like or that we feel good about, and we used to detach or to have a certain kind of detachments from stuff that we don't like or run away from. So but yeah, basically there are forces who are taking the energies of others and cannot live without it, and there are forces who create and helping and they're helping and supporting to other forms of life.
I see, because as I understand, uh, energies that are violent, hate, anger, pure anger, these are energies that these dark forces thrive on. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They are feeding from fear. After 2012, climate, the energetic climate on this universe and on Mother Gaia became so repellent to them. And in the end of um, 2021, they will move and come back to Draco Belt. After that, it is on us, galactic seeds and light workers, to just renew Mother Earth, to establish new system, completely new way of living. And from 2021 to 2022, 25th, it will be a lot of cleansing work, and after it, from 2023, to 2066, the Earth will divide into 3D version and 4D version. So it will be two planet Earths in a different times and spaces. And those who showed or demonstrated with their life and serving to God, with their spiritual maturity, those who show that, they will deserve to incarnate on 4D. Unfortunately, those who are not so spiritually mature, they will incarnate on 3D Earth again. So there will be hope for them. In some lifetime to incarnate in this advanced planet Earth.
Well, I believe that these souls who are very recalcitrant to change to a better vibration and frequency, they will be in this other three-dimensional Earth. And I think perhaps it will take perhaps another 26,000 years for them to arrive at the point where they can migrate back to 4D and 5D. Am I right?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Things for them are way slower, you know. I tell always my students there is two ways to pay off your karmic debts. One is suffering. It is really slow process, and really like you make basically the same patterns, like you are in a labyrinth, like you are in some maze, you know, and basically those souls make 10 times same mistake, and then 11th time, oh, I get it. But for us, light workers and galactic seeds, so to say, we if we have small percent of karmic debt, we pay it off by serving to God.
Ah.
And that is the way quicker path. So you choose dharma over karma.
Well, that's fantastic because it is also part of Buddhist belief, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, great. Now, earlier on, we did talk about the various civilizations on Earth,
Yes.
Atlantis and Lemuria. Would you like to enlighten the listeners a little bit on these two civilizations?
Exactly. Yeah, I would lovely do that because not just I am able to channel informations 100% and use my memories to recall some of informations, but also I have to say I translated a few books from English to Serbian and from German to Serbian. And these are authors that they have very deep, profound insights on this topic. One of these books is from Etienne Charland, our dear friend,
Oh,
The
yes.
History of the Universe.
Yes.
So, um, reading and translating that book, I unlocked also some of my memories. So, Mother Gaia, it is physically old, 4.5 billion years, but Gaia as a spirit is way older.
Oh,
So Gaia has a sister. It is called Lemuria.
wow.
Okay. So, what Lemurians did before they came to this earth, they planted seeds, now also referred as Lemurian seed crystals.
Yeah.
And they are the oldest inhabitants of this planet, actually. They knew it will be turmoils, it will be turbulences, but they felt the moral responsibility to God to protect their auntie, okay, to protect their mother sister from all turbulences. Uh, this after that, like way after that, came when Dracos felt, okay, we can maybe adapt this planet to our species. They experimented and they put dinosaurs, alligator, snakes, reptiles, stuff like that. Um, but we saw how that ended. Um, After that, 40 million years ago, came another uh, uplifting period, if I can say, and that time were formed two civilizations, Lemuria and Atlantis, as you mentioned. For Atlantis, I can say it is a mixture. It is basically a mirroring of ex-galactic federation. So it is like a mishmash of all civilizations on this universe and four universes above. Um, and Lemuria had a few colonies on this universe, and currently they are not incarnated here physically, but into the crystals as a fragments of their memories. And Lemurian civilization is established on ninth dimension, and they're supporting us greatly, especially Andromedans, because I, as a first patriarch of Andromeda, learned a lot from their alchemy.
Wow. You know something about Atlantis? I have a vague memory actually, and I
Oh.
thought, oh yeah, I think that it was that I chose to remain behind when Atlantis sank to
Mm.
calm the rest of the population who has no chance to migrate. And
Okay, will you? So you evacuated them to
no,
their origin planets,
no,
or?
I didn't evacuate, but I remained behind with those who could not make it during the evacuation.
Mm.
That is why I have this phobia of water, sea, because as you know, there was a great deluge and Atlantis sank. So
Mm.
it seems that the song Auld Syne was sang by the Atlanteans. They played the music, they sang Auld Lang Syne, and then the waves came and then drowned the inhabitants who did not escape. So
Yeah.
I was there to calm those inhabitants and perish with them. That's what I know. And that is why I have this great phobia and I don't like water. I don't like the sea and swimming spots and so on. So that is my vague memory of my time in Atlantis.
Mm. Yeah. Well, there was a British professor. I don't remember the guy's name. In 1917, during the 1917, he made a lecture about the duality of Earth. So he talks basically about continental force and sea force on Earth. If we look this human history, as we know, and before, like history of Mother Planet Gaia, you will always see there were two forces. Atlantis was more western, on the western part of hemisphere, and Atlantis was always about different nations integrating stuff, opening, um, Yeah, basically, what are the West forces now? That was the Atlantis, that was the Cartagena, that was the UK as a force before, and from the other side, now as we have a China or Russia or these continental forces, Tellurocratian as he called it, they tend to centralize. They tend to be monotonous, like one tone, like to be everything stable and stuff like that. Uh, this illusion of duality uh, is basically uh, illusion, okay? Dracos contributed a lot to that, and some Anunnaki dark forces. But as we see now how things are integrating, you see in the martial arts, you have MMA. You never see guy like training one guy training just jiu-jitsu and one guy training just boxing. They're integrating that. In energy healing, you see the same stuff. Okay? So this illusion of duality is disappearing, so we can live in unity in this new era that comes in our way.
Yeah, it is also known as the Golden Age, which we are coming to.
Well, yeah, someone is referring it to like as an age of Aquarius.
Hmm.
Yeah, but you know, our ancestors looked at the sky and told, "Oh, this looks like an Aquarius. This looks like a lion," and gave name to these stars, these groups of stars. But basically, yeah, I would call it golden era. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And can you throw some light on these Agathans? Because um, I couldn't find much information on the net. What is available?
Exactly.
Yeah, what is available is just very minimal. I want to go deeper into it. So I think you are the best person to ask.
Yes, exactly. Uh, so what is happening is that many of the light workers are currently in a light false matrix, and when they channel some informations, it is in a range from 10 to 15 percent of accuracy, which is really minimal, as you say. So uh, yeah, I thank God and all angels who gave me these informations and all galactic families. I collaborated with many of them, um, and I send them greetings from 3D now. Okay,
Wonderful.
so what they basically shed the light on this, because this topic also fascinated me. So from let's start from the shape of the Earth. Okay, so one guys, usually mainstream people, they say, okay, the Earth is ball. What is the proof? Well, from the moon, they recorded it, and those people say it's fake. But there is some accuracy in it that Earth is a ball. Why? Because Sun, our own galactic sun, has very strong gravity force. Our Earth has also their own gravity force. As we know now from the mainstream science and physics, uh, the molecule shape that can just rotate and just move in the rhythm of universe is a ball. Okay, there is no other uh, atom or proton or electron that will be a flat and go around. That just doesn't happen, okay? Never happened. But those folks who claim the Earth is flat, and they mention these expeditions on the North Pole, which is the strongest argument for them, they also have a right, and there is also some accuracy in it. You see? So, who is right then? Well, both and nobody. Why? Because when you're really clairvoyant and you raise above the earth and ask to shed light on Mother Earth to see its form and shape, you will see it looks like a tangerine. Okay, so the poles are really flat, and it is elliptic and it is curved around. So, for example, Africa, there is purely stand between those two poles, and it is actually oval. So it is something in between, but there is an additional element, and it is connected now to this question you asked me. There are the empires below the surface of the earth. It is called Shambhalas, okay? In Tibetan culture, it is referred as Shambhala. Many esoteric scholars tend to discover more about this. You were talking about Talos. Talos is actually a rest below of Atlantis, and it is somewhere in Atlantic Ocean. It's just spread like through all Atlantic Ocean, and we have also below the land these inner empires. On the North Pole are living Nords, or at the end is talking about Nordic gods. They are basically a mixture of avians, Pleiadians, and the positive current of Anunnakis. And their DNA is very specific. They are very human-like, but some of them has the wings. But all of them, without any exception, are with a whitish blue skin. They have really black hair. Their skeleton is really elongate, so they're like 4 meters tall and above.
Right.
When Admiral Byrd led an expedition to the North Pole, they got out from this under Earth empire and just dropped a few laser beams and destroyed many ships, and they left just 3 ships.
Uh-oh.
In one of them was this Admiral Byrd, and one of their leaders of these Nords came out and told, "You're allowed to come back home and tell what you saw, but you or any other expedition should come back ever again. We need peace, and we need to work on this planet. So now go away." And they were so scared, like nobody's talking about that. It was 1949. Look, this is nowadays. Now is 2019, and nobody is telling about that. So they are doing their own stuff. They're helping this Mother Earth, and they are currently building settlements for Orions, especially for people from planet called Satrimonoka, to come to just populate these settlements in the earth. It is, by the way, more than 500 kilometers deep. In Tibet exists the same thing. on the Balkan area as well, and nobody's talking about that. So not just above the earth, on the earth, but below the earth change is happening. They're activating crystals, generators, and we are 100% on that right now. And we are expecting great results because timelines, these positive timelines are just 30% faster.
Wow. You know, Marko, it's
Yeah.
fantastic what you just mentioned. And I'm very glad because, number one, you touch on a topic about flat Earth and spherical Earth, which actually deep in me, I share the same views as you. But I
Yeah.
couldn't find anybody else talking like the way you do. So I'm glad because now at least light workers and light warriors and way showers who are watching this video, they have a better concept that to
Exactly.
me, to me, I call spiritual earth as flat and 3D earth as a sphere. That's my
Oh,
interpretation.
yeah, you put it that phenomenal way. Yeah, it is exactly like that.
And also, I've done pretty much research into Admiral Byrd and the Antarctica or Arctic
Yeah.
expedition. But if I remember, none ever mentioned about the destruction of their fleets. And
Yeah.
I'm sort of glad to know this truth because um, um, coming from you, we could depend on your memory, your knowledge, and your direct communication with the higher souls. And well, this interview is coming to an end, and
Yeah.
um, I'm very happy to make connection with you, Marko, and that you are sharing your knowledge, wisdom, and truth to many people who are viewing this video. And therefore, Consciousness Shift, as this video will be called, we will host other interviews with Marko and talk about other important as well as interesting topics for our soul advancement. And
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
me too. And therefore, I would like to say, Oni Tofo. And thanks a lot, Marko. We will meet again.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.